The college football and NFL seasons are literally right around the corner. I could not be more excited. Football is one of my most profitable sports consistently whenever it comes to, in the past, sports betting. But in this video, I'm going to go over why Kalshi and Polymarket offer you so many more opportunities to profit across the football season. I'm going to go over numerous ways that I plan to go ahead and exploit these markets and come out at the end of the season extremely profitable on football season, college and NFL on Polymarket and Kalshi. Let's go ahead and jump right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel here on In the Money, we have you covered everything that you need to win across crypto, prediction markets, and more. We have you covered here on In the Money. And of course, we have been absolutely cooking in the Money Discord, especially in the meme coin sector, but also in prediction markets with football right around the corner. We are running a special currently. You can get a 3-day free trial. Come in, see if you enjoy it. If you profit with us, you can just sign up $49 a month after your 3-day trial. You'll get all of my prediction market picks, all of my crypto calls, all of Louis Alt's crypto calls, and more. So I'll leave that link down below in themoney.live. Let's just jump into it, guys. Like I said, football has consistently been one of my most profitable sports. There have been time periods in the past. I've been doing sports betting for the last, I don't know, what would it be now? 11 years since my sophomore year in college. So at that time period, I really, dove deep. I've always been very knowledgeable about sports, but that's not what is really going to propel, whether you're a profitable sports player or not. It's really going to be about the data and having an edge in these markets. So in this video, I'm going to go over a few of the markets that I've consistently been able to beat long-term, and also where I think that anyone can utilize in-season odds and the way that they're going to change to profit this NFL and college football season. So let's go ahead and jump into it, guys. If you are in the US and you aren't set up with Kalshi, we have a link down below in the description. You will get $10 absolutely free by signing up to Kalshi down below. And also, if you want to navigate on Polymarket, they more or less have pretty identical sports markets. So we'll have links down below for Kalshi and Polymarket. But first and foremost, when you are heading into the football season, we don't have to wait until the first game. You can actually start exploiting these odds and the percentages today. And we're talking about preseason odds. So this is going to be the first edge that I've been able to capture in the past, not only on prediction markets, but in the previous time periods with just normal sports books. But Kalshi and Polymarket, like I said, offer so many more opportunities to get an edge. For example, college football playoff qualifiers. You can kind of look through here. You can see a lot of these teams like Notre Dame, Oregon, Ohio State, very high favorites to be in the college football playoffs. But for example, if you think a sleeper team, like this is not a pick, I'm just going down here. For example, like SMU. SMU has a great quarterback, great head coach. Their schedule's pretty friendly. The ACC is pretty weak. They're at 28%. If after a few weeks of the season, they're 5, 6, 7, 8-0, let's just say, or even 7-1 in a weak ACC, someone from the ACC is going to go to the college football playoff. Obviously, the main one would be Miami. But after that, it gets kind of dicey. Clemson's having a down time period. We have Florida State's not really what they used to be. So SMU could be an interesting one if they go to that ACC championship against someone like Miami and play a solid game. We all of a sudden could see 2 ACC teams getting into the college football playoffs. I think Indiana, even at 66%, that's a team that's probably going to get in. They're very well coached, etc. So you can take advantage of these. And even after a few weeks of the season, whenever these odds change inevitably, if some of these teams are, like I said, 6, 7, 8-0 at that time period, their odds to make the college football playoffs are going to move north, and you'll be able to sell at that time period, which is why prediction markets offer you such a better opportunity than some of these sports books, especially on preseason opportunities. Let's just go look at, let's go with like the NFC North. So we'll go to NFL now. NFL North Division winner. So you can kind of see here, you can go against, and I think these are fantastic. If you're looking for high percentage to win, but also just in general, like safer plays that could offer you 17% ROI in the matter of a couple of months. It's better than a savings account would, pay you. But Minnesota, no, at 83% to win the division is pretty solid value. I actually really like that. Just kind of taking a look at it now. We can go look at maybe like NFC South. This one's a really competitive division. You have 3-4 teams, all of them in the same range. So if you feel like you have an edge or you play these during the season or even preseason, these odds will change and you can take advantage of these. If after a few weeks, Carolina is having another good season, you could probably sell them at 40% and almost get a 50% return on your investment in just a couple weeks' time. So preseason opportunities are very, very solid whenever it comes to division winners, college football playoff qualifying, etc. So that is edge number one that I will be navigating and putting some picks in before the season starts. Number two, utilize combos to your advantage. And when I say this, the traditional term would be parlays. But I'm not going to tell you to go put together a 15-team parlay to try to go from $10 to $100,000. You won't win those. You're going to lose money long term. What I'm talking about is utilizing combos on Polymarket for some of these matchups that are probably going to be extremely swayed to the favorites. So week to week, just looking at week one here, we see some matchups like, for example, Arizona Cardinals at Los Angeles Chargers. I think the Chargers take that one. I think Dallas beats New York. I think that, for example, some of these other matchups are a little tighter, but those are two good ones. Dallas at New York, and then you have Los Angeles Chargers to beat Arizona. You could combine those together and get a little bit of a boosted payout, whereas you're probably going to by itself see the Los Angeles Chargers at like an 80% on that game. Let's see if that game's posted actually currently, and we can kind of take a look at this. And on the money, 83% for the LA Chargers. And then we do have week one. We have the Cowboys versus the Giants. And that's a closer one at 56%, 59%. Really just because Dallas is on the road. I really like that one. You could probably combine that one and get a pretty solid payout because Dallas is close to a 50-50 proposition, and they always have owned the New York Giants. So use combos to your advantage. You could take higher percentages and actually get a little more ROI out of them throughout the season. There are going to be inevitable matchups that are just not correct or just big mismatches, and you can take advantage of those utilizing combos whenever it comes to Kalshi. And now Polymarket also has combos. So you can do that now and actually boost your payouts on some of these big mismatches throughout the season. So that is another way I plan to exploit prediction markets this football season. Number three, live in-game plays. Now, I don't really have to, I don't think, go too deep into this. I think if you know football, you'll understand. And like, look, you can see live on the top. This is not football season yet, but live means in progress. So while games are going on, let's say, we've seen this time and time again. A team scores to go up by, or to tie the game, a minute left. You can all of a sudden, swing trade the other team to put together a game-winning drive. And then, they get down the field, score. There's a lot of these times you can see it coming. Patrick Mahomes gets the ball at the end of the game. Josh Allen gets the ball at the end of the game. Just needs to march them down into field goal range to be able to win. Or you feel that momentum shifting. You might see a team kick a tying field goal. And as they're driving, you could pick them to win. They kick a tying field goal. You sell the little percentage difference, the delta on that position for a small win. And then you could actually swing trade the rest of the game as well. There are so many opportunities during football season to trade the momentum. Only do this if you're watching the games. I really advise, if you're going to really exploit these strategies as far as live trading, and we'll have extensive coverage on this channel and in the money Discord throughout the season on this. If you're going to take advantage of in-game live swings, you need to be watching so you understand the momentum. If you're just watching the play chart, go through the live feed or whatever on your phone on some score app, you're not going to get the same edge as actually spending time in the trenches watching these things. And well, that's what we have you covered for in the Money Discord. So like I said, you can get 3 days free right now, and then only $49 a month. I would almost guarantee you'll make your money back in that first month, undoubtedly, at this point in time. But that's exactly the stuff we're going to be curating for you, is making sure, we spend all the time in the trenches to be able to give you that information. So like I said, so far, preseason odds, division winners to make the playoffs, college football playoff qualifiers, etc. That is number one. Number two is live in-game markets. You can play momentum in football like crazy. And then, of course, the third one would be utilizing combos to your favor across across mismatches throughout the season. And then last but certainly not least, actually one of my most profitable positions all last year, I put together in the last weeks of the season. This was fantastic. And this was the statistics. So use these markets to your advantage as well. I know a lot of people out there play fantasy sports. Like, it is one of the most popular things out there whenever it comes to anything. Fantasy American football. People love this, okay? Like, people will jump into this hand over fist. Pay attention to all of these, different player stats week to week. So if that's you, these are the markets for you. Last year, one of the most profitable swing trades I made was after Thanksgiving. Dak Prescott had that crazy run. If we were to go look at Dak Prescott, I'll actually show you these whenever it comes to the games I'm talking about. Run here. So we had Dak Prescott on yards, 3 straight games. He goes for 354 against Philly, 320 against KC, 376 against Detroit. After this game, before this game on Philly, he was like a 13% chance to lead the league in passing. After that 3-game span, he became about a 56% chance to win the highest passing yards, to lead the league in passing. And it looked pretty clear cut that he was going to win that at that point in time. The only thing was, we knew in the back of our heads after they lost to the Detroit Lions, that was a big swing. They needed to win that game to stay alive in the playoffs. We kind of knew that the Cowboys weren't going to make the playoffs at that point in time. And then when we look at the other statistical leaders, there were 2 that were fighting for playoff contention basically until the very end. That was Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions, and Matthew Stafford and the LA Rams. After Dak Prescott was in the 50 percentages, after I took him in like the 13% area, I actually sold my Prescott shares at 56% and swung into Matthew Stafford. Well, why did I do that? Because Dak Prescott played the full game in the last game of the season. Why? Their season was over. He had no reason to continue playing at that point in time into this next season. Well, when we look at, Matthew Stafford's last few games, 368 against Detroit, 457 against Seattle. He played all the way through these games because they were looking to try to win the division and actually clinch the best possible seeding for the playoff race. So these are the types of things that if you understand football, you understand this team's still competing, this player is going to play the whole game. The Cowboys had nothing to play for. They're going to sit Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott would have led the league in passing if he played that full last game against the New York Giants. For example, we just go back one more page here. We can see he only lost that race by 155 yards. Like, he would have gotten that easily throughout a half of the game if he just played a few more possessions/drives. So if you understand football, you understand the mechanics, you can play these markets to your favor tremendously. They also have receiving and they have touchdown leaders, etc. I know the touchdown leader last year, I think it was Davante Adams. That was an easy trade whenever it comes to receiving. Let's go touchdowns. I believe it was Davante Adams. Yeah. After like week 9 or 10, he was still in like the 40 percentile, and he was up. He never really was even in competition. He was by far the league leader in passing or receiving touchdowns. And then I think rushing touchdowns, it was also no, it wasn't James Cook last year. It was Jonathan Taylor. Yeah. So if you pay attention to these stats, you can really swing trade these things throughout the season. Let's just go look now. I'm going to go NFL receiving yards leader. So right now, preseason, this is crazy. Ja'Marr Chase at 31%. You could take some of these longer shots, like a Jackson Smith-Njigba, who led the league last year, Amon-Ra St. Brown. These are basically 10-1 on your money. So a lot of value to be had in these markets. And like I said, if you're a fantasy football guy, I think those are the best markets to exploit throughout football season. But you can see how genuinely excited I am to head into a fresh season across Polymarket and Kalshi to be able to take advantage of all these markets, because you're going to find value if you legitimately stick to a strategy and have an edge, which we're going to continue to cover throughout the season here on In the Money. Then I think you're going to have a very, very good time and a very profitable time in NFL and college football this fall. Guys, that's going to be it for today's video. If you enjoyed the content, like the video, subscribe down below. I will see you guys on the gridiron here in just a few weeks. And of course, like I said, jump into In the Money. 3 days free down below. If you don't make your money back, no hard feelings. After the 3 days, you don't have to be a part of the group. But I really do believe you'll find a ton of value in there. We're absolutely cooking currently, and we hope to see you there, guys. So like the video, subscribe to the channel, trade responsibly, my friends, and of course, stay bullish, my friends.